Commercial break about time management here. He is a time management advocate,
Mhm.
and we're going to speak to him about.
We've been running a
things.
50-week show with him on Bernama Radio 24.
Oh,
50 weeks. It's been a year. So next week is going to be his 50th week, talking about time management. And when it comes to talking about time management, a lot of people get it wrong. They say, "Oh, you're talking about the same old thing over and over again." But that's the point. Talking about the same old thing over and over again, because it's such an easy concept, but it's so hard to drum into people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Dr. Venga after the break. Stay tuned. Third segment of Bernama today. If you just join us, hi, I'm Fabian Nasish together with Dr. Venga. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we're going to talk to Dr. Venga about time management. Now, he is a seasoned veteran in this area, and he's an accomplished consultant, author, businessman, three already. And his life is devoted to advocating time management. And he's also just completed his 49th episode on Bernama Radio 24, talking about time management, and all he does for free. All these he does for free. Thank you very much. While giving free talks at Bankers Club and the people who want to learn how to conquer time.
Yep.
Then that's why I picked to interview you over Jared, because yesterday we were wondering who's going to interview the political guest, who's going to interview the time management guest, and I chose time management. So let's just talk a little bit about yourself. At a very young age, you had a little story, and Gerard was telling me the story as well.
Yeah.
But I would like to hear it firsthand.
Well, it all happened during the war. If I were to tell you the story, it'll take me a month to tell you that. But let me cut it very short in this way. Okay, I was separated from my family. I ended up with a Chinese rickshaw puller who brought me up until I was old enough. I started working at age of about 4.5. I started working, meaning washing dishes and things like that. And try to survive. And I don't necessarily. You can't consider it child labor because you have to survive in those days. If you've been during the war, you'll understand that it's not that easy. Okay, so it's very difficult. And that's how. Then I wanted to. I think I was about 13 or 14 years old at that time when I decided that I don't know how to read and write. My first language is Chinese. I speak Chinese fluently. So I wanted to learn how to read and write. So one of the conditions for me to read and write was to get someone to teach me. And this was an old man who used to be in the same area. All this happened in Singapore, by the way. So what he did was he told me, he said, okay, the condition of my wanting to learn from him was, number one, I have to be in his place before sunrise. Okay, that was one.
And then morning.
No. 6. Sunrise was about, at that time it was probably, because we were turning the clock up and down, okay? So I would say about 5:45 or around 6. But right now would be about 5:30, I think, because we've turned the clock a bit. So and then second condition was that I can only go back. Or, you had a stool, a table like that, and I had to stand on top and learn how to read and write. And instead, you can only go back when the sun goes down. Now, for someone who hasn't any idea what time is all about, when you stand on the table to learn how to write A, B, C, D, and try to learn that, can you imagine sunrise to sunset? You've got to stand there. And then you realize that it is a hell of a long time.
Correct. It's about 13, 14 hours minimum.
Well, that's it. But now we can talk from a concept, we can reality, you can have a clock, a watch and see it. But in those days when I went through this, my God, I didn't realize that time was so long in a day. That's was first realization. The second realization was that when he wanted to teach me condition of the learning, I had to sit for 3 exams. The first exam, second exam, and third exam. And he said, because I had no birth certificate at that time I didn't have it. He said, well, the only way to do that was to measure up and find out how old are you. They go by the height. In those days they did that. So he said, you have 3 years to do it. He didn't tell me what it's all about. To me, a fellow would want to learn how to read and write. The concept also is not there. So I say, yeah, sure, no problem. I didn't realize that 3 years was such a short period when you start to learn A and B and C, and then finally learn how to do that. The 3 exams were Standard 5, Junior Cambridge, and Senior Cambridge. So I had to do all this in a space of 3 years. Learn how to do that. So that's how I suddenly realized that time is a valuable resource.
Right.
And I wanted to go out and teach people how to do that.
So there's more to this than time management, right? Maybe you can briefly tell us particularly about time management first before we go into personal note I don't know how do we break this down.
Let me start like that.
Okay.
May I just ask you one thing, okay? You like this, okay? Suppose, let's just imagine
okay.
that every morning when you get up
Mhm.
and in your bank account,
Mhm.
say for some miracle, okay,
Mhm.
you get 86,400 ringgit
Mhm.
credited into your account.
Okay.
And that's yours to use, okay? And then at the end of the day, let's say midnight or something like that, it disappears.
Okay.
How will you use this 86,400 ringgit every single day is given to you, free of charge?
Okay.
You just got to spend it.
Mhm.
How would you do it? How would you do it? Aside from buying a Ferrari car, what will you do?
Well, I'll probably get a car, I'll probably pay some people to do work for me for another 2 months or 3 months or a year in advance,
You would, huh?
I would.
But if you get that every single day for the rest of your life, how would you spend it?
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just imagine this 86,400 ringgit is what you, me, everybody get every single day. 86,400 seconds we have. By the end of the day, it's erased off.
Right.
So if you're not used it well, suppose you have not used your 86,400 ringgit very well, then you'll be erased off.
Correct.
So because it's something that you're tangible, you can measure, you will probably spend it every day doing something or another.
Okay.
But in the same like manufacturing of time, as 86,400 seconds every single day is given to you.
Right.
How would you use it?
Well, I'll try to do 2-3 things at one day, maybe.
You see, we have no concept of time, but we have a concept of money. We know how to count it, but time, we don't understand it.
Okay.
We think we know, and that's the problem. A lot of us, young or old, don't understand this. It's when you get old and you're nearer to a cemetery, then you realize you want to live longer. See, the problem is we don't understand what is time. Time is a resource, like anything else a resource. We don't know how to use it. That is a problem. That is what time management is. Okay? Time consists of four elements. Okay? Time is one element.
Okay.
The second element, which is very important, is intelligence. You and I have an intelligence. We have intelligence. Okay? Within time, you must use the intelligence very well. Okay. The third thing is money. You from what you do, you get some return.
Yes.
Could be coins, whatever, money.
Understand?
Okay. And finally, this emotion. If we go through emotion, we waste a lot of time on emotion. So TIME. Time. Okay. Intelligence. Money. Emotion. 4 things. Right. If we can manage this well, you will then spend your 86,400 seconds well every day.
So, so going into this, right? Telling people this. In fact, your interview will be posted on our Facebook page, just to remind people that they have this. So, being so particular about time, on a personal note, do you annoy anybody? Like you really came early. You came like 7:30, 7:45. You're already at the door. So, do you get on other people's nerves sometimes?
I try to avoid that. I really try to avoid that because one of the problems is that I left my home at 7 o'clock in the morning. I came back last night from Kota Kinabalu at midnight. Right. I know that there will be a traffic jam. Okay. I know my car may give me a problem. I know there will be an accident. At least anticipate that. Okay. So I take all that into account, and as my wife said, you better leave at 7. I said, yeah, I will leave at 7 o'clock. I was here at 7:30. Okay. I do that in all occasions. I try to get there at least 15, 20, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour earlier, anticipating that things can go wrong. And during the time that I'm there, I do something with it without knowing anybody. Okay. Some people, I've never met anyone. I'm 74 years old. Okay. I've always tried to manage my time well, ever since I'm probably 13, 14 years old. Now, I've never annoyed anybody. I try to be very careful when I talk to people. No? But I make sure that I do not offend anybody. Okay. But I like to be early. So I'll find a little corner with myself and then do some work. That I do. In the old days, we writing notes and this and that. I try to plan myself, what's tomorrow and so on and so forth. So if we learn this skill, it's a skill, then you will not get stressed out.
Right.
You will live long without any medical disease.
But I realize one thing as well, you talk about time and all that, you come in as a happy person, chirpy person in the morning, walks out the door, is like, hey, our guest is so early. Then he's like, smiles at me and say, oh yeah, here's the tag to open the door. Alright, Dr. Venga, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about how to get into the habit of time management, and also a 3-step guide that you would recommend to jumpstart time management, because that will take a bit of time to explain, right? All that and more after the commercial break. Stay to the 4th segment of Bernama today. Favorite Narcis and Dr. Venga still with you on the show. We're going to talk about how to get into the habit of time management. Now, before that, if you just joined us, Dr. Venga is 74 years old, still very, very strong, coming in here happy and chirpy in the morning. And we had a very good off-air conversation. Thank you very much for the tip. And let's get into the habit of time management. Probably there's a little bit of what you told me is going to be said here right now.
Yeah, exactly. See, the people first must understand this resource, time.
Okay.
There is a limit to this resource. In other words, we all are equal, and you have a limited time, number of years you're going to be. So within that space, you must ask yourself, hey, what do I want in my life? What do I want? Simple thing. At work, at home, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever that is, what do you want? Now, what do you want comes from within your head. It's inside your mind.
Right.
It's inside you.
Right.
That the mind doesn't, you see, it thinks in pictures. And it thinks in a very, very fast way, more than what you and I can comprehend, okay? Okay, nobody knows how fast it is, okay? Some calculation there are, but I don't know whether it's right or wrong.
Okay.
But let me tell you this again, because it's thinking in that speed of light, faster than light, no? Some, I don't know, 20 times faster than light, whatever it is, you need to capture that. The only way you can capture that is to write it down. Is to write it down. Hey, what is it specifically that you want to do today? As an example, this is the first key thing in time management.
Right.
You need to write down. If you don't write it down, your thoughts will go away.
True.
You can say, I can do it in Facebook, but that takes you open it and time. But writing it down, like in the car as you're going out, driving a car, you can write that quickly. Write down. Make a small note, and you know. See, I have several things that I want. So this is the key. The first thing is to capture the thoughts. It is that thoughts that we have that makes who we are.
Right.
Now, people must understand that time is related to the thinking of self. Okay. I want to be like this. I want to be like you said, Jim. I want to get there. I want to do business. And whatever, that must be written out. You will notice that many big companies, of which you probably understand, they put a big slogan and say, we want to be like this, or we equality, all this. Why do they have to put a word? Why not just announce it on radio? But no, they do for you to see it, remember it. It gets digested into your brain cells.
Right.
And that brain cell will bring life to it. That's the first thing to do.
Okay.
That's the very first. So capture everything you're thinking about right now. The second most important thing, on a daily basis, what do I want to achieve today? I come to you today, what do I want to achieve? I want to talk to you about what is time management, why it's necessary, and how to do it. So I must understand every time I meet somebody or do something, I must have a purpose, a goal. You can call it GOAL, but you also have a purpose, objective of what you want to achieve on a daily basis. Very important.
Okay.
And third, most important, whatever you do, you too got to look back. Have I done it well?
Right.
Can I do it much better?
More to a reflection.
Yeah, exactly. Review. I call it review.
Okay.
So I say 3 things I feel myself. Jumpstart tomorrow morning. Write things down.
Okay.
Set a daily goal and review what after you've done something, review it, see, can I improve it? Because what you are improving yourself, that to me is the key. Knowledge is power, but self-knowledge is the ultimate power. Once you understand yourself, you'll do very well in life. Right. You'll be a happy person. 74, you still come and talk to people, make people happy. Right. Okay. This is the key thing. And this is something I have learned by learning how to write A, B, C, D. That's how I started off. Okay.
From the sunset to the sundown thing.
That's right. You see, people don't understand. People don't understand this resource of time. They think it's there tomorrow. How do you know you're going to be alive tomorrow?
Correct.
You don't know that. Okay.
Right.
So whatever you got to do today, get it done.
Right.
So I take one day at a time, do it well, do it to the extent that at the end of the day, I'm happy today. I'm very happy. And you know, it's crazy. But yet, such an important thing has never been taught. Well, it's not taught in school, it's not in the university or otherwise. Okay, but yet I learned that since I didn't go to school. Okay, I learned the first thing that you get when you go to school is a timetable.
Correct. The
9 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
subjects and all that.
Okay, that means that is the time management for young kids to understand. But teachers not take the trouble to explain it and make them understand. If we do that well, I tell you, because of the fact that we live in the sun, where, 12 hours a day we got sun. But you live in other countries where there's winter, there is what do you call summer and spring and all that, and darkness. Most of the time you see the sun for 2 hours and no more sun. So for those kind of people, managing their time is very important.
Doctor, I just want to go back, because we have already done with our questions, but I just want to go back into what you said. You said about writing it down. Number two, you said about planning your day and knowing what you want to get. And the third one was reflection, right? Now, when you talk about reflection, you look back into what you have done for the particular day. Am I right?
Yes.
Now, this is done in tandem with to improve yourself.
Yes.
But what about future planning? Sometimes it's not as good or as nice to plan it during the day. And sometimes when it involves meetings or somebody else and this and that, people tend to mess things up or mess your timetable that you want to do. So how do we get above this? I mean, how do we get on this?
Okay, I can only share with you my experience. What I do is like, aside from reflecting, my reflection takes place immediately after each thing I do. Okay, say for an hour and a half. After I've done it, I'll reflect on what has happened, how can I improve it. The planning process is a continuous process. Like just now, I was sitting outside waiting for this show to start. I've been planning, what else to do, a couple of other things to do. I plan it here. See, meeting as an example. A lot of people walk into the meeting as if they're going to go in there, take their head and plug on some wire, and automatically, voila, you are there. It doesn't happen that way. You've got to think through. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about, I got to think through what I'm going to do tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. A few things, not in great detail, but at least having an idea. So that what you do that? You do that because inside yourself, there's a lot of information, lots of data that you have stored, but you don't know how to retrieve it. That reviewing, that planning part of it is to retrieve the data out of yourself and say, okay, I'm going to talk about that, this, that, the other. What do I talk about? I'm going to be meeting. What's the objective of the meeting? Who's going to chair it? And how's it going to be run? Oh, the chair doesn't know the chair of the meeting, so I better get out of there quickly, say what I want to say, and get out of there. You plan all that, okay? That is what planning is all about. That's thinking all about. And we don't do that. We just walk in and say, well, done. You see, we talked about a few minutes ago. You plan even your journey. 7 o'clock in the morning, there will be a traffic jam. You're planning already. So which road to avoid, okay? Take the tunnel. So that's the part that we all miss. We get into the road or do something and hope against hope that it will turn out well. Doesn't happen that way. We lack in the whole of Asia, from the Middle East downward, including to some extent Italy, Spain, and Portugal. These countries and people, including China, planning is not part of their culture. It's just spontaneous.
It's the same with Malaysia, I think, as well. And the term, I really hate the term Malaysian timing. Have you heard of that? I hate that term Malaysian timing. Sometimes when I plan things with my other friends, when they say Malaysian timing at 8 o'clock, which means 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
You know what? This is the case. Whether you are in the Middle East, whether you are in Italy or Spain or Portugal, you can accept this as a fact. Okay, China, India, and then they blame the traffic and what have you. But you know what? It is a culture. We don't understand the meaning of planning. We don't. It's there. The sun comes up every day. So that's where the problem. The problem, attitude. I have a word for that. Attitude. People must change their attitude about themselves. I want to perform, I want to go home, have a good time with my wife, my children. I need to spend time. We blame relationship, breaking up and all that. Why? We don't have time.
Agreed.
To build a relationship, you can't take anything for granted. For me, I don't take anything for granted.
Let's just review again. We're running a minute short already. Let's just review again. Time is first about TIME.
Yeah, that's right.
It's about time,
intelligence, money, and emotion.
Emotions.
All this must be managed well.
Right,
That's
and also you recommend your 3-step guide, which is number 1, writing it down, which I will remember, and the second one is planning your day, and third of all, to reflect on your day, or as you call it, review your day. That's right.
May I also add one more thing? I know we use gadgets, from Apple device to Samsung, so what have you. You have a lot of devices,
right?
But those are tools for you to use. They are not time management planner. They're not. This is the one. Writing it down and making sure you know what you're going to do. See, I can see what I'm going to do on 31st.
Right.
I can see what I'm going to do next.
Right.
And this is the kind of thing that people must have that idea. This is the key to your success.
Right.
You can have all the, I have all that. I have all the gadgets they can think about, plus this book and things that I want to handle within a month, or I write this down.
So it's a goal that you write down.
Right.
And he has this bookmark today, tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you very much for coming on the show and talk to us. And thank you very much. We enjoyed the show. Of course, if you want to review again this particular interview, you can always go on to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Bernama today. We'll upload Dr. Venga's interview, and your 50th interview would be on which day?
Next week.
Next week. Next what?
Monday.
Monday.
9:15 to 10 o'clock.
9:15 to 10 o'clock on Bernama Radio, which is 93.9 in the Klang Valley.
Yes.
All right.
And Johor Bahru.
In Johor Bahru 107.5.
You can also do it in the net.
Oh yes, online as well. I'll leave that to Jared, right? To talk about it. We've got a million news up next. Stay tuned on Bernama TV.